In this video, I'm going to be going over how to draft the best Madden 25 fantasy team for franchise game mode. So I'm just going to kind of hop right into it. So if you don't know how to get there yet, I'm gonna kind of show you that as well as how to go over a couple settings. So here's just a few of the teams I've already drafted slash like just normal ones that I've done before. So you're going to go to create league, and then if you do online, there's a little bit issue with the rosters, but if you do offline right now, it kind of works a little better. But up to you, whichever one you want to do. I'm gonna go offline, and then I would definitely do NFL preseason roster. Obviously, that's when I'm making the video. The rosters get updated throughout the season. And then if we go to choose team, obviously, whoever you want. The only real difference here is kind of like the coaches and I guess like the stadium and things like that, jerseys, but choose whoever you want. I'll just do Green Bay. And then some things that you have to change. And when you're doing the fantasy draft, if we go all the way to the bottom and then go up, fantasy draft order, you need to change the snake. I don't know why this isn't like already preset, but you definitely need to change that. Then fantasy timer, I usually turn off. I did notice a glitch where even if fantasy timer was off, it was not like technically paused, and it would just like auto pick you if it passed like the allotted time. So just a heads up with that. And then draft presentation. Obviously, if you want to see it, it's just like them walking up and like hugging Goodell. You could turn that to none. I'm going to do it for the sake of this video. Then I also turn off pre-existing injuries and normally practice injuries, but again, totally up to you. And then all the other settings are, totally up to your preference. But I usually, like to switch some things around, like skill level, quarter length, things like that. But generally speaking, none of the other ones need to be changed. The only ones I really recommend changing is adding more X Factor, Superstar, and Star, just to kind of make the game, more fun. Because if you have it only at 400, or if you lower it, that means there's going to be less star players the next season. But it's up to you. And then make sure you change your starting point to fantasy draft. But other than that, do whatever you want. You can change your role, change your coach, but up to you. I usually just stick with coach. So, getting right into it, if you're drafting with other people, just make sure that you also, that they're online as well. But without further ado, I'm going to skip this video. So I'm going to pause the draft too, make sure you do that as soon as it starts. I have pick number 10. So as you can see here, basically just 9 quarterbacks go off the board every single time. And just so you know, when I'm looking or when I'm referring to all of these picks, I'm using the website called Madden.tools. This is not like a sponsorship or anything. They are just a really cool website. So looking at the 10th overall pick, and this is just another annoying thing too. Every time you open up the players you're going to pick, I get off scout status. I don't know what that is. I don't know what it means, but it just doesn't really make sense. So anyway, so at this position in the first round, the guys you're going to want to take a look at first would be Micah Parsons. Next would technically be Max Crosby, and then after that would be Sauce Gardner. That's typically the order they go. If you wanted to get a receiver, you can do, Tyreek Hill, Justin Jefferson, and then after that, I would not, at this draft spot, recommend picking any other guys. Some other guys like Patrick Surtain, Nick Bosa, CeeDee Lamb, Myles Garrett, Jalen Ramsey, Amon-Ra St. Brown, Jair Alexander, guys like that go as well, kind of like mid first round. But generally in the first round, you want to get your X Factor guy. If you have a very, very late first round pick, you probably have to get a superstar guy, but I would recommend the top like 25 picks to find someone with an X Factor, because it truly is a difference. So in my opinion, the best guy at this spot would be Micah Parsons. You could, I do not recommend reaching, but you could reach for someone, that gets further in the first round if you really like that guy. But in my opinion, getting defense in the first round is usually a good idea. If you have the top 9 picks, you could go a quarterback, but I also don't think it's a bad idea to choose, a rookie quarterback or a different guy later. So I'm going to go Micah Parsons here. He's the number 1 right end, number 1 edge rusher in the game. He's just an obvious pick here. Now, moving on to the second round, I have a sort of later second round pick here, a 23rd pick. As you can see, some guys, went off the board. A lot of high 90 X Factor guys are off the board at this point. So looking at late second round pick, and just so you know too, and I'm referring to some of these guys, these are guys that on average get picked the late second round. It doesn't mean that they always do. So I really like Dexter Lawrence at this pick. I know he's gone. I also really like Tristan Wirfs in the second round. He's just like the best left tackle in the game. I also really like. To be honest, that's pretty much those are probably my two favorite guys in the second round. Unfortunately, they're both taken. But I also like Aiden Hutchinson, but he's only superstar, not an X factor. So we're looking late second round. Some good guys overall. There's a couple good tight ends that go here, like Kittle goes here, Andrews goes here. I believe Kelsey goes a little bit later on, but I am going to have an early third round pick, so I could reach a little bit here. I think at the end, though, of the second round, my favorite guys to pick would be Chase Young, who's not an X Factor. He's only Superstar, which, is debatable. I think he could be X Factor from his real-life performance. Then the second-year receiver, Puka Nacua, is also an option here. He is a little bit lower of an overall, but he is a superstar factor, so that also could be an option. And like I said, the tight ends, are an option, but like George Kittle and Mark Andrews. But in my opinion, you can get guys, like Laporta later. You can get Kyle Pitts, McBride, Ferguson, Kincaid, Bowers. There's like a lot of deeper tight ends, even guys like Cade Otton and even way down here like Luke Musgrave, like the guys like that, like Isaiah Likely. You can get guys, some tight ends really late. Although the top 10 tight ends do go fairly early, so but it's really again up to you. In my opinion, I would not take one of these guys, but if Mark Andrews is your favorite player, you could take him. I think the picks I like the best here are either going to be Chase Young, and it's okay if I have two right ends. It's really not a big idea. Or getting a really good receiver right here. The receiver that goes here, like I said, was Puka, as well as Cooper Kupp, and also Terry McLaurin. The only issue with Cooper Kupp and McLaurin is that they're just kind of old, but Cooper Kupp is X Factor, which is pretty big. I believe DK Metcalf's X Factor. Yes, he's X Factor too in this game. You could go DK Metcalf as well, but I believe he goes like a little bit later on. You definitely could wait on him. Yeah, Metcalf actually doesn't go until the third round, I believe, but actually the fourth round, I think. Oh my gosh, yeah, Metcalf goes way later. I would not draft him here. That actually doesn't seem right to me, but I'll have to double check that. But anyway, I think my pick here, though, is going to be another edge rusher just because they're like so freaking good in this game. And I'm going to go Chase Young. So at this point, my D-line is like pretty set. I really don't have to draft another one till like past the 10th round if I don't want to. So I think that's pretty decent start here. So moving on to the third round. This time I have a fairly early third round pick. So I'm probably going to have to go offense here just because, I haven't picked one yet. And actually last round, DK Metcalf being there was probably a good pick too. It usually goes actually early in the first round, so I had to like double check that real quick. But yeah, DK Metcalf actually probably should have been my pick right there, but that's okay. I kind of like, there's a lot of young receivers in this that are pretty good. So in the early third round, Greg Rousseau is a great pick. Rashawn Gary is a great pick. There's older receivers that start going that are really good, like Kupp, Evans, and Allen. In my opinion, if you're doing a franchise, though, you don't really want old guys like that on your team that cost a ton of money. But a guy like Chris Jones is super good here. He's old, though, but he is X Factor. A couple other guys here. Let's see. A younger receiver that should still be on the board that goes around this time is Garrett Wilson. I think he's a great pick here. Some guys that go later on, Zay Flowers goes a little later on. Actually, I might pick Puka because he dropped a little bit. So Zay Flowers is a great pick right here. Like I said, Rashawn Gary. Just so you know, Caleb Williams, if you're looking for just like the number one rookie quarterback, could go in this round. This is like the earliest he goes. He usually goes in the 5th, but just a heads up if that's who you really want. He sometimes goes in the 3rd round. I think his medium pick is like, I could double check. I think his medium pick is like later in the 3rd round, but there's a possibility he goes here. Another really good guy in this round would be Quinnen Williams right there. But then, other than that, right, linemen, a couple good corners and D-backs go here, but I kind of prefer to wait on them. But in my opinion, with who's left here, I can't believe that Puka Nacua is still here. I think Puka Nacua might be the best pick here. Because I do like Garrett Wilson and Zay Flowers as well, but he is like superstar and he's 23. I think this is who my pick is right there, and I like that. I think that's solid so far. So far, I have a receiver and I have two D linemen. Now, obviously, my two D linemen are at right end, but again, that doesn't really matter in Madden. I think Micah Parsons is like a 99 at every position or whatever, 98, whatever he is. So moving on to later fourth round, I'm just curious. I'm gonna check. I like kind of seeing who went. Okay, so yeah, some of those older guys went, those older X Factor receivers. I'm curious if Caleb Williams went, and Caleb Williams did not go, so he's still available late fourth round, which is good. I kind of thought he would be. Looks like Trevor Lawrence got drafted. Here, let's take a look at the board. Frank Ragnow was a really good pick early round. He's one of the best linemen in the game. Will Anderson is a really good pick here as well. Good young edge rusher. Let's see. Sorry, I was getting a sip of water. Some young receivers start going. So I definitely recommend drafting a receiver within the first 5 rounds, unless you want to go like really, really developing guys. But I also recommend getting a left tackle within the first 5 rounds. But unfortunately, Christian Darrisaw went. Jordan Malata went as well, so that kind of ruins my plan with that. But looking later in the third, there's a ton of good receivers. Actually, if Creed Humphrey is still here, did he go? I don't think he went. Creed Humphrey is like a really good pick here as well. You can get good centers. Oh no, Creed Humphrey must have went. I must have missed it. You can get some decent centers pretty late, but Creed Humphrey usually goes later. I'm sorry, he goes later in the third round. That's where I messed up there. Someone else who usually goes in the third or fourth round, who I know a lot of people are going to want to draft, is Marvin Harrison Jr. And let's see if he went. He's 79 overall, I believe. He did not go yet. So Marvin Harrison, even though I already have a receiver, could be the pick here. I just think he's one of the best guys in this game, or one of the best young receivers in this game. So that could be a really good pick in the third or fourth round. Other than that, I'm trying to see. A lot of the younger receivers go. If Sam Laporta is still here, that's also a really good pick. Sam Laporta is still here, so that could be a good pick if you want kind of the best young tight end in the game. Like I said before, you can get some decent tight ends pretty late. I love Brock Bowers in this game. He's an absolute beast. That's usually my pick. But Sam Laporta also is just like a cheat code, so really up to you. I think I'm going to go Marvin Harrison with this pick, though. So in the fourth round, I definitely recommend drafting him, especially even if he's as your receiver one. So I'm just going to kind of double check to see if there's anyone else that like I kind of really want here, but I don't really think so. I think Marvin Harrison is going to be the pick here. So yep, we're going with Marvin Harrison Jr. I don't love picking two receivers that early. I definitely could have picked someone else instead of Puka Nacua, but that's, not a big deal. Oh, and Sam Laporta just went. If Sam Laporta was still here, that probably would have been my pick. But middle of the fifth round, there's definitely some decent receivers that are still left. One just young corner I kind of like getting here, because corners actually in this game go really early, is Joey Porter. He's only a star factor, though, so I don't love drafting star factor guys in the first, 10 rounds unless they're rookies. But looking at some other guys go, a couple quarterbacks go in this round. I know, if he didn't go yet, Kyler Murray goes. He's a good, decently young quarterback. Some other guys, let's see, early fifth. Justin Fields goes in this round as well, usually. Baker Mayfield goes in this round. I could get a decent lineman here. I think I might have to go with my left tackle here. So we have Andrew Thomas, Tyron Smith, but he's super old. And Johnson also goes, but he's very old. Tyler Smith is a good pick here as well. But I think, let's see if Tyler Smith is even still here. He is here, and he's only a star factor, so I don't love that. I think, honestly, the pick here is left tackle, Andrew Thomas. Getting a beast left tackle in the first 5 rounds is, pretty essential. I know some people might not agree in real life, but I think this is a good pick here. And he usually goes around this round as it is. The only other guy I like here as well is Rashawn Slater, who just went to the 6th round. I think he's a really good pick there as well. But looking at guys that went in the 6th round, the only ones that I love, like I said, is probably Rashawn Slater. There's a couple decent guys. Tremaine Edmonds is also a beast. He's pretty young too. Like he's just like a giant middle linebacker, so he's kind of fun and good to play with. But let's see. So we're at 6:23. So this is actually the round that I definitely recommend drafting your quarterback. So if you want to get the younger quarterbacks like Anthony Richardson, let's see who else goes in this round. T. Higgins goes in this round. He's a great receiver if you don't have a receiver one yet. Deshaun Watson goes, but I don't think anyone really wants him. At center, Tyler Lindenbaum usually goes here, and then the centers start getting like pretty low overalls, but it's not like the end of the world. But I think right here you really want to get your quarterback. The only other guy that goes here that I like as well is Malik Neighbors usually goes here, or this is like the earliest he can go, I should say. What overall is he? Oh my gosh, he's a 77 overall. Malik Neighbors goes here too, just another top rookie that goes. But I think here the smart play is quarterback. The only other guy I like here as well, who's old but he's an X factor, is I just missed him, is Matt Milano because he's just like a beast of a linebacker. So he could kind of be like a good linebacker, but he's one of the later X factor guys drafted. That's also not like 35 years old. So, but I do think right here, like I'm going to go quarterback. So if you want to get one of those good rookie quarterbacks, I think the ceiling is guys like Drake May, Anthony Richardson, Jaden Daniels, Bryce Young, and then the floor would be guys that go later, like Bo Nix and JJ McCarthy. And then the super floor would be like Will Levis and did I pass him? And Michael Penix, and I guess maybe someone like Desmond Ridder too. But those guys are, same with Kenny Pickett. Those guys are like really, really like you're gonna get them late and going to need to develop them. Whereas Bo Nix, JJ McCarthy, and these four guys up here are pretty solid picks in this round. So in my opinion, just because it's the rookies, I think May and Jaden Daniels are the best picks here. May is more of a pocket guy, strong arm, whereas Jaden Daniels is more of a scrambler. Either or, I think either one of these guys are great picks. I'm just gonna go Jaden Daniels because I think he's a little bit more fun with his rushing ability. But again, totally, up to you. You could have won any of those quarterbacks here. So looking who went here, see Matt Milano just went. If he would have dropped to the 7th, I definitely would have picked him here, but that's all right. So early 7th, if you don't have a receiver yet or an edge rusher yet, you need to pick them like ASAP. Since I've gone pretty heavy offense here, I might go defense here, kind of depending on who's available. On safety, I don't love picking safeties early, but if I was to pick one early, which he unfortunately just got drafted, was Brian Branch, but he must just got drafted. Other than that, in this round, there's a couple good receivers that go, like Gabe Davis, Jameson Williams, a couple good running backs. Joe Mixon goes. Roma Dunze goes in this round usually. If I didn't have two receivers, I'd probably go him. Oh my gosh, T. Higgins is still here too. If you don't have a receiver, definitely get a guy like that as well. T. Higgins also should not still be here. He should have gotten drafted already. If he's here next round, I'd be very stunned. But if I go player age, I believe Malik Neighbors is still here too. That'd be a great pick as well. Roma Dunze is still here as well. So it looks like some of these guys even can drop to the 7th round. But I would have been totally comfortable picking Malik Neighbors around before. But if you want to pick just a younger receiver as well, I mean, this draft is full of them. You get Malachi Corley, Lad McConkey, Polk, Neighbors, Brian Thomas, Worthy, Coleman, Franklin Mitchell. You can get all of these guys, and they could potentially be a receiver one. So even Xavier Leggett. Guys like that. Ricky Pearsall, I believe, is hidden talent. Yeah, I mean, there's so many good rookies in this draft, too. I kind of feel silly for picking two early ones, but, it's just kind of the way this draft goes. But let's see. Who am I actually going to pick here? I probably have to go defense. And if I look at who I like here... Oh, I wish Matt Milano was still here. That would have been my pick. I'm also a little biased because I'm a Bills fan, but one guy I like that I believe still should be here is Jalen Carter, who I have him listed at right end, but I feel like that doesn't sound right to me. maybe he got drafted already, but I feel like he's a D tackle. I don't think he's actually listed at end. Yes, Jalen Carter is a great pick here. He's a superstar. This actually might be my pick here. He usually goes later 7th, but this is like an absolute steal. 23-year-old superstar factor who's just a beast up front. So now I basically have the best D line, in the game. So it looks like Neighbors just went. So that's interesting. So Neighbors and T. Higgins, Jackson Smith, and Drake London, all those guys could go pretty late, 8th round pick. But if you got one you really like, I'd definitely recommend drafting him earlier. There's a lot of receivers that went this round actually. Rashid Shaheed, Rasheed Rice. Yeah, we have a ton of guys going early, or going later than I thought they would. But Mike Williams as well. So apparently this round was just super heavy with receivers. But any of those guys would have been a good pick. In my opinion, just Malik Neighbors. I just like drafting rookies. But let's see. So moving on to the 8th round, and some of these rounds I'm going to start going a little bit quicker, so the video is not super long. Ooh, one guy who I don't think he got drafted. If you want to get the rookie, Joe Alt. I think. Oh, did he get drafted? If he's not, I'm going to take him. Joe Alt goes in the 7th round. At the earliest, so this is also a great right tackle. He's 21 years old, 6'9", 321. Like, come on, this is that's just like an insane pick in my opinion. Joe Alt is definitely a really good lineman. So, and he also definitely could. Oh, sorry guys. You definitely could switch him over to left tackle if you wanted, but I already have a starting left tackle, so I'm going to keep him at right. But if we look now at who we got so far. Actually, I think this team's come along really good. We have a rookie quarterback. We have a couple beast receivers. We have a really good D line, and then we have a couple good young offensive linemen too. So this is I think a really good start to the draft actually. The only thing that I could have done differently was not draft Puka or Marvin Harrison, or actually probably Puka more in my 3rd round pick. I could have drafted someone else, but just at that spot, I just don't love a lot of guys there. So I'm honestly fine with that pick. I don't really like reaching. Oh, another guy that goes in this from 9th round, or usually right around 8th, 9th round is Bijan Robinson. I know a lot of people like him. Someone who usually goes in 8th, I like getting at linebacker, is Quay Walker. He's listed at right outside linebacker in this game. So if he's still available, which he is not, that would have been my pick there. It looks like he got picked actually in the 8th round, so that makes sense. Some other good guys in the 9th round. Just so you know, Chop Robinson usually gets picked late 8th, early 9th, just like another good rookie. If I take a look and see if he's still here, he is at Chop Robinson is still here actually. Ooh, so I really do like Chop Robinson, but I believe although he's listed at left outside linebacker, he's actually more of an edge rusher. So I'm not gonna get him, just because he's really not he can't really cover. Man coverage, pass coverage and stuff is really bad. He really kind of plays on the line more. So because you see his traits as pass rush linebacker style, so just be kind of weary of that. Because if that's what you want, that's fine. But if you want a guy that's playing true linebacker, then you just gotta kind of be careful. But let's see who else goes here that I like. Bijan I definitely like around here, but he obviously just went. Who's in a bad spot to get a tight end. I believe guys like Trey McBride start going. I also really like Jahmyr Gibbs right here. He goes, if you don't have a quarterback yet, Bo Nix and J.J. McCarthy usually go on this round. I think I might get my tight end here. Pat Freiermuth also goes in this round. But other than that, yeah, I think the pick here is either going to be running back or tight end. I think I'm actually going to go running back here with Jahmyr Gibbs and then hope that Brock Bowers falls to me next round. Because I could reach on Bowers, but I'd really hope he falls to me. So, right here, whoops, not receiver, not fullback. If we go to running back here, you also could wait for guys like Kyron Williams, Derrick Henry. They're really good as well, but I like Gibbs, he's just fun. I also like A-Chain, he's really fun, 96 speed. I think either one of these guys in this round is a really good pick. There's some other younger backs you can get around here like James Cook, or you can even get a rookie back here too. And honestly, I think I might do that. I think I might reach on Brock Bowers. Actually, this is a pretty major reach because Bowers usually goes in later 10th, but I think I might reach on Bowers right here just because he's so good in this game. Actually, I want to see what McBride looks like. He's only star factor. Yeah, I think Brock Bowers ends up being an X factor. So, oh, whoops, I don't know why it glitches out like that sometimes. So I think I might reach on Brock Bowers in the 9th, grab him, and then get a rookie running back or like someone else, or just hope they fall to me later. Actually, Roma Dunze just went, which is crazy. I thought he would drop like crazy, or I thought he would go way earlier. And Xavier Worthy just got drafted too, so. Oh, I think Devin Achane. I saw him. He just got drafted. I'm assuming. Oh, some of the good running backs got drafted. All right, Derrick Henry still being there is crazy. Kyren Williams is a superstar. James Cook, but Gibbs and them got drafted. So, if we sort by, if we sort by development trait, we get like Derrick Henry, who's an X factor here, but he's I think like 30. He's still a beast, but you can also get Kyren Williams right here, who is really young and a superstar. So I think that actually is the pick right here. I just want to double check to see if there's anyone else that I really like later in the 10th round. Let's see, and just for your guys's knowledge too. So like I said, Brock Bowers usually goes. Cooper DeJean goes, which is just a good rookie quarterback, cornerback. Excuse me, not quarterback. I wonder if he's still available though. He's only like a 75 overall. Let's see. I always miss him. I think he goes earlier than I think he does for some reason. Oh, so Cooper DeJean is here. If Cooper DeJean is here next round, I might pick him. But actually, let me check when. Also, Leo Chenal goes here too. He's a really good outside linebacker if you don't have one yet. I like Ed Oliver if you don't have a D tackle yet. Yeah, so Kyren Williams goes early 11th round. And I think I'd rather Kyren Williams over Cooper DeJean. But I could hope that, actually I'm going to go Cooper DeJean here. And I'm going to hope that Kyren or Derrick Henry drops just because I don't have a corner yet. And I don't have a single defensive back yet. I think that's kind of a smart play. So let's see who's available at halfback. So Henry and Williams is here, so it was a good thing I waited. So I'm going to grab Williams here. Some other guys that I like in the 11th round, though, just so you guys kind of know. Kool-Aid McKinstry goes here as well. He's a rookie corner. That actually could have been my pick as well. Mike Anua goes here. He's a good right tackle, pretty young. Like I said, too, Kyren Williams usually goes in the 11th. Peter Skorinski goes in this round. I like him at line. Kincaid goes. Actually, there's a ton of guys that I like in that round. Dalton Kincaid goes. Kyrie Elam goes. Braxton Jones goes if you don't have a left tackle yet. Jack Campbell goes in this round. James Cook goes in this round. There's just like a ton of young, good players that go in this round. So if you want to reach on guys like I did, and once you start getting to the 9th, 10th round, I don't think that's a bad idea. But definitely going Kyren Williams here. He's a superstar. Like my offense is pretty stacked at this point. So let's see. So Kincaid just went. I was kind of expecting that. James Cook just went. Kool-Aid McKinstry went as well. So a lot of guys I thought would be going around these kind of rounds. So moving on to 12th, late 12th round. Let's see. So I don't love a lot of guys the late 12th round, but I'm going to see if guys early, like those guys I listed that drop earlier, are still available. So like if Jack Campbell's still available at middle linebacker, I might try to grab him. But I got a feeling he probably got drafted. But if he's available, which he is, this is my pick here. He's 6'5", 250. Like he's just a beast middle linebacker. So yeah, that again, actually some guys are dropping to me here, which is great, but I also kind of set up my draft like that on purpose. So moving on to 13th round. Let's see if any of my guys I really like in the 12th round are still available. There's a couple good linemen that go here, like Paris Johnson Jr., Troy Fatano, Darnell Wright. Amarius Mims at right tackle is a really, really good pick here. I wonder if he's still available, just so I can show you guys to him. He is right here. He's 78 overall. This is a really good pick if you don't have a tackle yet. Again, like 6'8", 340. Like he can play either tackle as well, because kind of Madden is just like doesn't really matter that much. But this is a really, really good pick in the 13th round. If I didn't already have Joe Alt, that probably would have been who my pick is. But moving on, if you don't have a tackle yet, you should probably get a tackle because you just like. you're just not going to find, too many good ones later. Like, there's definitely some okay ones that you can get later, but definitely nothing like really, really good. Now, if you don't have a D tackle yet, actually, Jordan Davis usually goes right around here. This could be a really good pick. He's 24, but he's only a star. He was a superstar, I believe, or you could get him to superstar last season, but that could be a good pick. But I'm pretty stacked at D line. Also, some running backs like rookie guys like Jonathan Brooks usually goes right here, but you could definitely wait for guys like that. I don't really think you should, unless you don't have your running back yet. I think you probably should wait. If you haven't gotten one yet, just kind of wait. But overall, what? I'm not gonna lie. There's a lot of guys I love in the 13th here, just for the way my team's going. So I might go Jordan Davis just because I don't love anyone else right here. The only one I could go, but I already have my ends at right end if he's even still available. And it looks like, oh no, he's 77 overall. Yeah, Latu, however you say his name, he's available too. Good hidden potential. If you don't have the DN yet, that definitely could be a really good pick here. But other than that, I think I'm going to go D-tackle. Kind of finish off my D-line here. I think I'm going to go Jordan Davis. I'm just double checking to see if there's anyone else I want here at all in the 13th, because I will have a very late 14th round pick, so I could reach on somebody here. I'm just going to double check. No, I think I'm good. Actually, I'm going to go Jordan Davis. So the next guy who it doesn't look like got picked, Jonathan Brooks just got picked, actually. So if you were looking for him, I know I just kind of try to shout out the younger rookies that I know a lot of people look forward to drafting. So at, where did I say he was at? He's at left guard. Jackson Powers Johnson is a rookie who, again, like super good, like 6'3", 328, power guy. Just like a solid guard. If you're looking for a guard still, which I don't believe I've drafted any guards yet. I have not, so that's probably going to be my pick here. Some other guys late 13th. At right tackle, Luke Gadecki. Let's see. Other than that, I actually don't love a lot of guys late 14th. A couple guys in the 15th round who I like, but I think I'm going to go Jackson Powers Johnson. Just really solid lineman here. I know it's kind of boring, but I'd prefer taking linemen in the first 15 rounds rather than some other positions, just so I can I don't really want to develop a lineman, but I don't mind developing other special positions. So 15th round early, if you do not have a D lineman yet, you just need kind of an older guy who's pretty decent. Sam Hubbard is usually, actually he must have just got drafted. Sam Hubbard's usually here. Other than that, in the 15th, I do actually like a middle linebacker just because he's big and fast. Isaiah Simmons is usually available here, but it's not like my favorite pick by any means. And oh my god, he's actually a normal dev in this game, so maybe never mind on him. I could have sworn he was star dev. I would have said Isaiah Simmons. You could start getting some D-backs here as well, because we're getting a little bit later. I usually wait too long for them. Jartavius Martin, I believe, is a star factor, and he's young and 24 and pretty fast and decent, but you could definitely wait on safety. That's just somebody I know is available here. If you need another DN, Luke Van Ness is good. I know I said like some guys, you got to draft them early, but I'm sorry, Sam Hubbard is here. I must have been looking at the wrong person. Luke Van Ness is here as well, but again, like this guy's 74 compared to guys that are 90 overall, so like it's definitely a pretty big jump, but there's still like decent guys there. That probably would be one of my picks if I was getting someone like that. I could go another middle linebacker here as well, just kind of with who gets drafted here, because there's a couple rookies I believe that get drafted here. Oh my gosh, he's a really low overall. I don't think I'm going to end up picking him, but Junior Colson gets drafted here usually. I believe he's hidden talent. It's not a bad starting middle linebacker if you haven't picked anyone yet, but oh man, I think I might reach on someone here a little bit because I don't love a lot of these guys here. I think actually the pick here is going to be at Oh, I already got 2D tackles. Just another late 15th round pick if I didn't have 2D tackles. They're rookies. I believe they're lower overall, so both a 75 overall would be Sweat as well as Newton. They both have hidden talents and they're both really good. So those could be, your picks here as well. Oh man, I don't want to draft. I don't want to reach guys that badly. Yeah. Oh my gosh, I don't even know who I want to go here. Sorry for the delay, guys. I really don't know who I want to go here. I don't like a lot of the guys here, and I don't want to reach like crazy. But I think my pick is gonna be a strong safety. There's a couple good guys here. It could either be Jartavius Martin or I think he already went. Did he already go? Or City Brown? Oh my gosh, excuse me. Either one of these guys. Our star potential pretty decent. I don't love them because you could get Marte Mapu super late, but I think no, I gotta find someone else better to go here. I don't know who though. I really hate this pick. I really hate this pick. You know what? Screw it. I'm gonna because I don't have any outside linebackers yet, so I'm gonna go middle linebacker here, and I'm gonna go Isaiah Simmons. I don't love it, but that's my pick here. You guys can hate it all you want in the comment section, but he's good. He's tall, strong. Moving on, because I just had to get past it, honestly. Moving on to late 16th round. Let's see who we have going here. A couple good young linebackers, like Ivan Pace Jr., Peyton Willison goes here. And then if we are looking at late 16, again, damn, I don't love a lot of guys. It's funny. So here's when I really started reaching, because I don't love a lot of guys here, but I do love a lot of guys in like the 18th, 19th round. So I'm one guy that you could reach on if you don't have an outside linebacker yet, which I do not, and I could go him, is BJ Ajalari, however you say his name. He is a 71 overall though, but if you don't have an outside linebacker that's more of a rushing style linebacker, you could go him right here as well. Again, I'm definitely reaching on guys here, but that's not a big deal. Actually, do I have a corner yet? Oh yeah, I do have a corner yet. Actually, I think the pick overall here, because I always wait way too long on cornerbacks, is going to be Christian Benford. He's only normal rating, but he's a pretty high overall and pretty decent. But I could have definitely went some other positions there, but my D line is so stacked. That's the thing at this point. I maybe could have waited on one of them. Maybe I picked too many D linemen early, but anyway, moving on. And again, here I'm kind of reaching on some of these guys, which is okay. So I think in this round, actually, I'm going to pick another receiver because a lot of the rookie receivers start going, and some of them might drop a little bit further, but I don't really want to take the chance. So, because I don't have a receiver 3 yet, I'm going to actually do it by age, I think, to make it a little bit easier. So a lot of these guys, Adonai Mitchell, Troy Franklin, Cannon Coleman, Jalen Polk, Lad McConkey, start going right here. If you want a guy that's a deep, because actually, who do I have already? I have a slot and a playmaker, both kind of tall, bigger guys. So I could try to get the fastest guy, which would be, I believe, speed-wise, would be Adonai Mitchell. I just want to double check. Lad McConkey also is pretty good here. I think I might go Lad McConkey here because or Ricky Pearsall. He's really good too. I think either one of these guys are a solid pick here. I think I'm just going to go Lad McConkey just because I just kind of like him better. But either one of those guys would be really solid. Let's see who went. Demario Douglas went as well. He was a younger, good receiver. I'm curious. See, Ricky Pearsall is still here. Ed Sidney Brown is still here, actually. That could be my pick right here. Because sometimes, weird guys, just drop like crazy, even though they should be getting drafted. I think, actually, Sidney Brown may be my pick here. But looking at who goes in the 18th, actually, that's because I drafted Lad McConkey a little bit early, but that's okay. So some of those actually good receivers should still be here, like Leggett, Mitchell, guys like that. They could still be here. But they also maybe got drafted a little bit early, but I could go a 4th receiver, but I think that isn't totally needed. But also at this point, you're kind of looking at who haven't you drafted. So my D line is set. I actually really need another outside linebacker, so that could be my pick soon. But that's one position I'm pretty weak at. I also don't have a safety yet, so that also is probably, pretty important. So I think actually Sidney Brown's going to be the pick here because he fell a little bit. Um, I actually really like, if you don't have a guard yet, Matthew Bergenson, who just went. Caleb Farley is a good pick for corner. I would not be picking those like super late, old late receivers. I'm just gonna take a look if any of the rookie receivers are still here. Khalil Shakir's a good pick here, pretty young. Noah Brown's not terrible too later on if you need a receiver still. Let's see. Keon Coleman's still here, actually. That's a really good pick. Same with Ricky Pearsall. Wow, either one of these guys are really good picks here. I'm surprised they're still available, to be completely honest. Donnie Mitchell. Wow. Okay, so some of these guys dropped like crazy. So actually, I think I'm just going to pick one of these guys. I think I'm going to pick Mitchell just because he's super fast as my receiver 4. Just kind of because, why not? I have a pretty stacked and like super, super young receiving core. And honestly, I didn't love a lot of other guys in this round anyway. So looking at the 20th round, and again, at this point, you could start just kind of looking at who didn't I draft yet, right? Like you don't want to, you don't necessarily want to draft that way. You sometimes want to just draft like who's the best position here, but if you don't have a middle linebacker yet, Drew Sanders is sometimes available here, and he like legitimately could be your starting linebacker. But yeah, he's still here actually. But I have 2 middle linebackers, so I'm good. Same with DeMarvion Overshawn. Those guys are pretty decent as well. Just so you know, too, if you don't have a tight end yet, you might want to grab one. And even your backup tight end, like guys like Cade Otton and Isaiah Likely, who I think already went, usually go in this round. They're kind of the next best young guys. I really like Luke Musgrave late if you can get him. Oh, I'm sorry, Isaiah Likely is still here. He's just a little overall. I do like Luke Musgrave kind of later as well, too. And I do recommend drafting a decent backup tight end because they actually do play more than you'd think. And if you're also waiting on like a quarterback here and you still haven't picked one yet, Will Levis is an option here, just so you know. He's like still available, so if you have not drafted your quarterback yet. So actually, I think I might grab my backup running back here. So I have Kyron Williams as my power back. I think I might snag a rookie running back here if they're still available. If you need one, though, late, like there's a ton of good guys like Brian Robinson, Javonte Williams, Tyler Algier, even A.J. Dillon, Khalil Herbert, Jerome Ford. Like those guys could all legitimately be your starters. So Trey Benson's here. I think that's a very good pick. Blake Corum is here. Zach Charbonnet is here as well. Those are all good picks. I mean, you really, really can't go wrong with any of these guys, but I think for the purpose of this, just kind of matching out my offense too, Trey Benson or Corum is probably a good pick here. Trey Benson is a bit better in this game, so I think that would be my pick there. And then moving on to the 21st round, I think here I might try to snag my backup tight end. Let's see, so Cade Otton's still available. Taysom Hill's kind of funny to grab really late. And Isaiah Likely is still available as well. I just want to double check there's no one else I like really want in this round. Let's see. Michael Penix goes in this round as well if you still need that. Oh gosh, one guy could go. Actually, no, I can wait for him. So yeah, I think actually I'm going to go my backup tight end because like I said, they play... Oh, I know who my backup tight end is actually. I'm not getting either of those guys. I almost forgot about him. Ben Sinot, or Sinat, I actually don't know how to pronounce his name, is available, and he goes in the usually around here. But honestly, looking how this is drafting, actually I could wait on him. But Ben Sinat is usually available here, and actually who I'm gonna go because just to kind of fill out my roster. And just to make sure he doesn't go at center, who's a very solid center, 75 overall, is Steve Avila, or however you pronounce his name, 24 star potential. That's who my center is going to be. And then I'm going to hope that tight end is still available for me here. Because who did I draft? Oh, I drafted Bauer, so it really doesn't matter who my backup is. But your backup does play a lot, like I said. So Cade Otton just went. Ben Sinat goes soon. Same with Luke Musgrave, but just in this draft, I'm gonna go with Ben. This is another guy who legitimately could be like your starting tight end, who I think is like really decent. And then moving on to the 23rd round, which is usually when Sanat goes. This could also be a good time to grab. Did I grab a safety already? Yes, I did. To grab any other remaining rookie receivers. So at this point, they're all probably drafted. But like, if I didn't have Thor, I would draft Jalen Polk right here, or Javon Baker. I think he's hidden. Yeah, he's still hidden. Um, A.T. Perry is, I don't know, never mind. He's a sophomore, I believe. But yeah, overall, right here, a receiver. If you haven't picked your receiver 3 yet, or even like receiver 2, you think you could get rookies who could, be pretty solid. But I'm not gonna bother just because I already have mine. But not a bad pick. I think here I might get a defensive back. For some reason, I have Cole Bishop going here, but I feel like he already got drafted. If he was here, that would be amazing, but I doubt it. So, no, he is not here. I'm just double checking. He's not free safety, is he? Just double checking. And no, he is not. So, actually, my second safety, who I'm probably just going to move over to free safety because it doesn't really matter that much in this game, is going to be Marte Mapu. So, he's just like pretty solid. 24 years old. Good, good at run support, good at zone. Pretty solid pick there. And then moving on there, see Jalen Polk actually just went. If he was still available, I might have picked him. In the 24th round, I don't have, or I'm definitely missing a right guard, but at left guard, yeah, there's a couple of decent guards here still. Like, they're older guys, but like, I just kind of need a guard. So I think at right guard, who technically I can move over to left guard, who just got drafted, unfortunately, was Graham Glassow. So I think instead I might have to kind of just pick someone else. A couple of decent centers go here as well. And again, at this point, I'm just reaching on guys because I don't really care. Actually, who I'm actually going here, I almost forgot about him. He usually goes a little bit later, but I'm just totally fine with reaching on him. Is Malcolm Rodriguez, just because I don't have an outside linebacker yet. So that might be an issue for my team, but not the end of the world because I knew I was actually going to get him late. Then, oh man, let's see. I could pick another outside linebacker just because I'm missing him. I could also pick another safety. So there's a couple good young guys that go here, right outside linebacker. So we have Jonah Ellis and Braylon Trice. Oops, not this. They're pretty low overalls, I believe. Let's see. So Ellis must have just went, and Trice. Oh no, Alice is right there. Whoops, my bad. This actually might be who I pick, but again, he's an edge rusher. Oh, I thought he was hidden potential. I think they might have changed some of those dev rates. That would have been who I picked, but if he's not that dev, I don't even know. Honestly, at this point, like I'm pretty close to just like saving the draft, but there's a couple sleeper guys I want to show you as well. So actually, you know what? I'm just gonna pick my sleeper guys here because I don't want to make this video too much longer. So one sleeper I have at center that I'm going to move either to guard or keep at center, move my current center to guard, is going to be, actually Cushionberry's pretty decent here as well, but is going to be Joe Tippmann. He's like 23 or something like that. That's who my pick's going to be, but I'm going to end up moving him to guard. And then another guy I like really late, if you don't have a defensive tackle yet, he's a hidden talent. He is a 70 overall, is going to be Dwayne Carter. Again, this is somebody you could develop. He's 300, 6'2". He's actually technically short in this game, but like pretty good in the, what round is this? He usually goes in the 30th round. So just like good, good depth there. Another couple good guys, if you like don't have a guard yet, which I don't, I'm just going to draft them. They're very low overalls, though, is Osiris Torrance and Ricky Stormberg. It doesn't really matter who you draft. Torrance is just a little bit bigger, a little bit stronger, so I'd go with him. Again, this could like legitimately be your starting guard, but I'm probably just going to kind of shift my line around a little bit. And then also pretty late here, I like, just kind of like it's a fun guy, but some of these guys I'm drafting early, but I don't really care that much because it's so late in the draft. Also at tight end, Taysom Hill. I'm just checking to see who else went. Darnell Washington, the absolute is fun because he's 6'7", but Taysom Hill is also just like fun just because he can play like 10 different positions. He's kind of just a cool guy to go right there. I see Ricky Stormberg just went. Actually, it's a good thing I picked someone. Also, another late tight end who's like pretty decent. He's like a really low overall though, is, if I can even find him, is Colby Parkinson. For some reason, he got like a $20 million deal in real life. I don't understand that, but he's actually decent in this game. I think actually you see this late too. I grabbed some speedy corners, but I'm not like too worried about getting any of these guys remaining. I think overall I got a pretty good lineup. Actually, well, the last guy I'll show you here, who I think should still be available at free safety, is going to be, if he's still available, he might have got drafted though. Oh no, Louis Cine is a solid pick. He's a star, 24 years old. He'll probably won't start for me, but he might kind of rotate in. And then usually at this point, actually Carrington Valentine's a good decent pick this late as well. I usually just kind of start going for speedy guys. I'm just kind of double checking to see if anyone's available that I liked at safety. They are not. They got drafted. So at this point, I usually go speedy guys at safety. Some good guys, in my opinion, which actually I think some of them got drafted. Oh my gosh. Yeah, I think actually a lot of them got drafted already. Maybe if I go to overall rating, I'll be able to find them easier. I like, at this point, none of the really old guys. I would not recommend drafting any of those guys at all. But, oh my gosh, I think they all got drafted. Oh no, there they are. Andrew Booth, really fast, really good. Carrington Valentine, also really fast, really good. Garrett Williams, fast, good. Riley Moss, also really fast, really good. Actually, I might just grab him to be my third corner because I think I only have 2 so far. Also very young. But other than that, guys you want to draft, every time at fullback, which is just kind of funny, but he's a superstar overall and he's really good, is Kyle Juszkiewicz, or however you say his name. That's definitely not how you say his last name. I know how to say it too, and I just completely butchered it. But definitely want to get him at fullback. There's other options too, but it's if your team's favorite fullback's available, you could pick him as well. And then usually for my receiver 5, if I do it by speed, he's still here, which is so funny. Either Anthony Schwartz, who's really just fast, or Tyquan Thornton, because he's usually available really, really late, and he's like a legitimate deep threat, where the Anthony Schwartz isn't as much. He's more just like a kick return kind of guy. But either one of these guys would be a really good receiver 5. I'm going to go with Tyquan Thornton. I usually don't leave any drafts without him. And then at running back, I also usually don't leave drafts without Kene Nagwanu, however you say his name, just because, again, he's really fast and he'll be your return man. If he's not available, though, which he usually is really late, Cordell Patterson also you should draft as your return man. It's really up to you, but he's like just one of the best return people in the game that you can also get just super, super late. And then the last 2 positions that I like, getting is just your kicker and punter. They technically go undrafted if you just super sim it, or like sim the rest of the draft. So if you go development trait, AJ Cole is just the best, and he used to be superstar. He recently got switched to star. I don't know why, but I also don't really punt that much, so it doesn't really matter. And then if we go to kicker, the overall Justin Tucker is the best. I think he's superstar. Or even, yeah, he's superstar still. So you could go him, but it's your kicker. Like, it doesn't really matter that much. Butker, Elliott, I think Butker's technically the next best, but he's only star. So, like, at this point, it doesn't really matter who you draft. Draft whoever you want. At this point, I like Younghoe Ko just because, like, I just like him. But, like, it's a kicker. It doesn't really matter that much. But technically, oh my gosh, there are kickers that are better than him. Like Justin Tucker is the best, but he's also, like 40 or something like that, 34. But technically in kickers terms, it doesn't really matter. But in Madden, that does matter a little bit. So other than that, there's not any guys I don't. I just love. I do not feel like this game is like last year where you could actually find like a ton of value super, super late in the draft. But from here, I'm just going to sim it because I don't have any guys that I really, really want at this point. I'm just kind of quickly going through. Chase Claypool is kind of cool because he's big. If you don't have like receiver 5, Carrington Valentine, another just like I said earlier, speedy cornerback. But other than that, I don't think there's anyone else, so I'm going to sim the rest of it and kind of finish it up and show you guys what the draft ended like. So, like I said too earlier, what I'm using here to kind of see where the draft picks are is Madden tools. So, if I go to Manage Roster, Adjust Lineup, we can take a look at it here. So if I look here, as you can see, like my offense, other than, by fullback, which doesn't really matter that much, I have 2 superstar factors. I have a ton of rookies, which is just because I just honestly like to develop them. But I believe like a lot of these rookies, like I believe Joe Alt ends up being, I don't think he's X Factor. I believe he ends up being superstar. I believe he also ends up being star or superstar. Brock Bowers, I believe, ends up being superstar, but Marvin Harrison ends up being X Factor, and I believe Jaden Daniels ends up being superstar. I believe Benson ends up being star, so, and that doesn't really matter because he's my backup running back, honestly. So, but overall, looking at these guys, there's like, I mean, my offense, in my opinion, is pretty stacked. I have like 4 really solid receivers, good solid 2 running backs. I have a power back, elusive back, kind of switch them up. My quarterback, obviously, is young, but solid quarterback, really good fullback. Then my line is like pretty solid. Guard is definitely a little iffy. I probably would switch Tipman to here instead of Torrance, but overall not too bad. I also could switch him, Avila, to guard and switch Tipman to center, but it's really only like a 1 point difference there. And then if we take a look at my defense, defense is definitely. Oh yeah, actually I need to switch out my linebackers a little bit there because that's a little messed up. But I definitely am very shaky at linebackers. I probably would switch Campbell or Simmons to outside linebacker and stick them there instead of whoever else I have here right now. I would not stick Young or Parsons there. They kind of have to play on the D line, but my D line is really, really good. So that's kind of like where I gave up the positions there. I also would switch Cine probably here. Actually, what I would do is switch Mapu here and then switch Mapu here. So put him at free safety, put Sidney Brown at safety, and then my corners, pretty decent. Kind of younger guys that you can develop. Some people like drafting them early. I don't. Then looking at special teams, Cordell Patterson's going to be my returner. I actually forgot about Adam Conkey. He'd end up being my next return man too. And then looking at my specialist here, Courtejan would come in at slot corner. The line doesn't really matter that much because my line's just like insanely good. My sub linebacker would technically be Isaiah Simmons. And then if you look here, I am 100% switching Cordell Patterson. He's not going to be my 3-down back. It's just going to be Kyron Williams. And then my power back, I could switch. Oh, I'm sorry. No, Benson would not make sense to switch there. Never mind. I forgot that Kyron Williams is technically a power back, but I'd probably keep him in, 99% of the time, and then have Benson take some snaps here and there. And then at my slot receiver, Puka would be my first, and then McConkey, Mitchell, but definitely Puka would be my first, and he's my receiver number 1. So that's my team. So let me know in the comment section what you guys think about this. Overall, I think actually this was a solid draft. It wasn't like this actually was my favorite draft that I've had so far, and you definitely could draft a more just overpowered team if you wanted to, but thinking about just like having fun and drafting guys that are younger, I think this team actually worked out pretty decent. I will say, the obvious thing here on defense is my D-line is just super stacked, and my linebackers are pretty weak, but my corners and D-backs are pretty young, but not great. But I definitely focused more on offense in this one, so you definitely could swap out, a decent lineman or your receiver 3 for a different guy on defense, and it's kind of up to you what you want to play. But other than that, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, definitely leave a like and comment, just kind of what you think of the team, who you would have drafted instead of me. But thank you guys for watching.